Did King David exist? Was he a real person? Some scholars have said no. He was just an invention of nationalistic Jews after the Babylonian captivity. Join me today as we look at the evidence. If you've watched any of the videos on my channel, you know that I'm in the process of writing a series of novels called Age of the Kingdom, two of which are available now at GaryIvey.com. Quest for a King and Exile of the King are the first two novels. They're all about the period of time during the reigns of King Saul, King David, and King Solomon, when Israel was one united kingdom. After Solomon's death, the nation broke apart and became two nations, Israel and Judah. There are many scholars who say that King David never existed, that he was not a real person, that he was just an invention, or maybe a combination of characters like King Arthur. Can we really know if David was a real person? I mean, that was 3,000 years ago. You may be surprised to hear that scholars have said that David never existed if you've heard the Bible stories all your life. But secular scholars default to a position of skepticism regarding the Bible because of the supernatural elements, and also because until just recently, there was no evidence of David's existence outside the Bible. But now, after 200 years of archaeology, the Bible has been substantiated in surprising ways, and David is one example. Why should we care? Why does it matter if David was a real person? Well, for one thing, Jesus mentions David. In fact, he calls himself the Son of David, and he said that he was come to earth to establish a kingdom in the name of David, although it was of a different character, and that's what confused a lot of the people that listened to Jesus when he talked about the kingdom. He was, in fact, a blood descendant of David through his mother Mary. But what about the fact that there's no evidence for King David or King Solomon in archaeology, in nothing in the hieroglyphics of Egypt, nothing in the annals of Babylon, nothing in the ancient world testified to the existence of David and Solomon until just recently? In 1993, there was a discovery of the Tel Dan Stela, and I'm going to define each of those words. Tel is a mound. It's where a city was built, and then it was destroyed, and then they built again on top of that, and then it was destroyed again, and they built again on top of that, and that kept going, sometimes for many, many times over the centuries. And it formed a mound, and that's called a tel. And there are tels all over the Middle East. Dan was a tribe of Israel, and Dan was one of the sons of Jacob, who became known as Israel. And there was a city of Dan in the northern part of Israel that was later called Galilee. And so it was there that they discovered the Tel Dan Stela in 1993. A stela is a stone that has an inscription on it. And in this case, it's the record of an event. The event was a battle in which the Syrian king Hazael defeated, according to the stone, defeated Jehoram, son of Ahab, king of Israel, and Ahaz, king of the house of David. Hazael gloats about his victory, but when it says the house of David, it means the dynasty of David. And this stone was from only 200 years after Solomon died, and it well before the Babylonian captivity. So when this stone was discovered, the idea that David was an invention of nationalist Jews after the Babylonian captivity had to go out the window. They don't name dynasties after fictional characters. The Bible gives us the genealogy of the kings of Judah, from David to Jehoiakim, the last king of Judah, who was taken to Babylon in chains. All the kings of Judah were descendants of David. It was a true dynasty, and scholars had to admit that David was a real person because of the finding of the Tel Dan Stela. The Tel Dan Stela has been in the Israel Museum, but it's coming to the United States. It will be at the Armstrong Archaeological Museum in Edmond, Oklahoma, for their exhibit, David and Solomon's Monumental Kingdom. But this was not the last discovery that confirmed the existence of David. If you are new to reading the Bible and want help getting started, I've put links in the description to 3 books. The first one is The Beginner's Bible Study Guide and an introduction to all 66 books of the Bible. Click the link to Amazon where you can buy the Kindle version or the physical book. Or you could try How to Study the Bible for Beginners, your step-to-step guide. It's part of a larger how-to series, but this is a good intro. Also, there's a link to the Starting Place Study Bible, which is in New International Version, so it's very readable, and it includes a lot of good background information which could be helpful. So if you don't have a Bible, the last time I looked there was a 55% discount. The Mesha Stela, or it was also called the Moabite stone, also mentions the house of David, and it is in the Louvre in Paris. There was a third discovery that confirmed the existence of David, the Karnak inscription in Egypt. It documents Pharaoh Sheshank's invasion of Israel and Judah. That invasion is recorded in the Bible. It's in 1 Kings 14 and 2 Chronicles 12. But Sheshank is called Shishak in the Bible. This discovery was a little bit controversial because the scholars interpreted the words on the inscription to say the heights of David. But the word David in the inscription ends in a T instead of a D. But conservative scholars reply that there are documents in Ethiopia that refer to the Psalms of Dawit, ending in a T. And there are Egyptian documents that spell the Canaanite cities of Megiddo and Damascus as Magito and Damascus. I've used many sources in pulling this information together for this video, but I'm especially indebted to the Armstrong Institute of Biblical Archaeology, whose publication, Let the Stones Speak, has a lot of detail and brings together a lot of information in one place. Not every detail in the life of David has been confirmed, of course, but to go from David being a fictional character to confirming his dynasty is a very big deal. Well, that's all for this episode. Click the like button and subscribe to the Age of the Kingdom channel, and click the bell if you'd like to be notified when I drop new videos.